The all-time great Houston Texans, the youngest franchise in the NFL with some great new talent. The all-time great New Orleans Saints, a franchise that turned from poverty to greatness with a future Hall of Fame quarterback and great coaching. Welcome to the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, home of the New Orleans Saints, and this is PR52 with the broadcast of the first game of the doubleheader on Monday Night Football in the BTFL Season 3. We have the premier teams of the all-time great Houston Texans and the all-time great New Orleans Saints. We start off with the coin toss. The captains meet in the middle of the field, and the New Orleans Saints, they win the toss. They'll elect to receive. Kickoff in this game will be from Chris Brown of the Houston Texans from their own 35. He'll kick it off end over end. He'll kick it to Deuce McAllister at the 18, and he will make it all the way to around the 37 of New Orleans for a gain of 19. First and 10 for Drew Brees and the Saints. He gets the shotgun snap, observes the field, throws it right, and fight for the ball, Michael Thomas to the 48 for a gain of around 25 yards. Another first and 10 in the shotgun. Alvin Kamara would get the shotgun direct snap as he will go right for a big gain to the 25 for a gain of 23. Alvin Kamara was a second-round draft pick for the New Orleans Saints in 2017. He'd get the ball down the left side. He'd avoid defenders, and he gets into the end zone for a gain of 23. That's a touchdown for Alvin Kamara, Pro Bowl running back. And he puts the Saints on the board first, and the extra point by Morten Andersen is up, and it is good. 7-0 is the early lead for the Saints. Just like that, less than 2 minutes, Morten Andersen would kick off all the way to Dominic Williams, also called Dominic Davis. He fumbles at the 25. The ball is recovered by Andre Johnson at the 31. He'll go up to 2 yards for to the 33 of Houston. A toss left to Arian Foster. He would gain 5 yards to the 38. He would foster that 5-yard gain. Second and 5. Direct snap to Arian Foster. He is also a really great running back, much like Kamara. And he would get the first down for the Houston Texans. First and 10, 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Pass to Andre Johnson. It's incomplete. Second and 10 at the 46 of Houston. Pitch left to Arian Foster. He would gain nothing. Third and 10. 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Arian Foster down the left side, avoiding defenders. He's been tricky. And he would gain about 15 to the New Orleans 39-yard line. First and 10 at the 39 of New Orleans. Direct snap to Arian Foster. 2-yard gain. Ball's on the ground. Johnny on the spot are the Saints as they would get the ball in their own territory. Bad fumble for the Texans. Let's see if that hurts them. Direct snap by Alvin Kamara. He goes up the middle, avoiding defenders. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Alvin Kamara. Second touchdown of the game for the running back, Alvin Kamara of the Saints. And they would take a 13-0 lead, and this would be pending the extra point. And Morten Andersen is good. That was a 58-yard scamper for a touchdown for Alvin Kamara. Less than a minute left. Kickoff by Morten Andersen. This would be taken by Dominic Williams to the 26-yard line. Gain of 10. First and 10 with less than 30 seconds. Deshaun Watson, no pressure in his face. He'd survey, he'd pass over the middle to Owen Daniels. Gains 8 to the 34 of Houston. Second and 2. Less than 10 seconds. Arian Foster, he would get the direct handoff. The direct snap for 4 yards. That ends the first quarter. The score is 14-0. We're into the second quarter. First and 10 at the 38 of Houston. Deshaun Watson would fire right to Owen Daniels, the tight end, for a gain of 8 to the 46-yard line of Houston. Deshaun Watson would take the sweep left, avoiding defenders. He's quick, and he makes it into New Orleans territory for a gain of 14. 1st and 10 at the 40 of New Orleans. Deshaun Watson would pass left, and Andre Johnson is fighting for the ball. He is the first Hall of Famer in the history of the Houston Texans. Just happened recently as Deshaun Watson would lose 7 to the 20-yard line of New Orleans. 2nd and 17 at the 20. Arian Foster takes the direct handoff, and he would go up the middle for a gain of 1 to the 19 of New Orleans. 3 minutes and 47 seconds, 3rd and 16. Deshaun Watson, pressure in his face, throws it to Owen Daniels, but he fumbles. Ball's on the ground, recovered by Roman Harper, and he makes it out to the 22-yard line for a gain of 15 as the Saints get the ball back in the red zone of New Orleans. 1st and 10 for Drew Brees. He throws it right, incomplete. 2nd and 10 as the Saints have all the momentum. Drew Brees would take the shotgun snap, and he would get sacked by J.J. Watt, a guy who you would think that in the future will be a Hall of Famer when all is said and done. 3rd and 19 for Drew Brees, 14-0 ball game. Wide open, Eric Martin. Eric Martin makes it to around the 42-yard line for a gain of 29. Those who don't remember the BTFL Season 2, Eric Martin played in it in a pivotal position. I believe it was for either Phoenix or Las Vegas, as Drew Brees would run right. He's not known for being very nimble, but he would run for a gain of 14 to the 44-yard line of the Texans. Alvin Kamara, first loss of the game, loses 4 to the 48-yard line. 2nd and 14 at the 48. Drew Brees, no pressure in his face, would pass down the right side to a diving Michael Thomas, usually known for slanting over the middle, but he goes deep for that touchdown as he would dive for that one, as he would help Drew Brees record his first touchdown pass of the season. It's 20-0. Morton Anderson adds the extra point, and it is good. 21-0 in favor of the Saints with less than a minute and 30 seconds left in the half. Dominic Williams would catch the ball inside the 5, and he would make it to around the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Texans. Deshaun Watson would throw to his favorite receiver, Owen Daniels, who fumbled on the last drive, and he helps to gain 20 to the 35-yard line of Houston. 40 seconds, 21-0 in this game. Deshaun Watson's got a pass for a first down. Pass for a touchdown. Throws the ball to DeAndre Hopkins to the 47-yard line. Gain of 12. Houston will call a timeout, their first timeout of the game. 21 seconds left. Arian Foster with the direct snap. And much like Alvin Kamara earlier in this game, he would clear the way. 5. Touchdown, Arian Foster running up the middle. That was a 53-yard scamper for a touchdown. Saints still lead 21-6. Could be 21-7 pending the extra point. And Chris Brown, his kick is up, and it is good. Halftime score is 21-7 in favor of the Saints. And we will go to the halftime show. We'll see you on the other side of that. Welcome to the halftime show with the game between the Houston Texans and the New Orleans Saints at the Superdome, as Drew Brees would get things started, throwing it to Michael Thomas, and then the direct snap would go to Alvin Kamara down the right side. He had an amazing game today, especially at halftime. Then he gets the handoff down the left side as he would power it into the end zone. Saints take a 7-0 lead early. Texans get it inside of Saints territory. Arian Foster's freeze would get tackled, and he would freeze with the ball on the ground, and the Saints would recover it, and they will get another shot at it. Alvin Kamara doing a great job parting the defense of the New Orleans Saints. He could go all the way, and he does for the touchdown. 14-0 early for the Saints, as Alvin Kamara with the 2 touchdowns of the game. Another big play for the Texans. Andre the Giant Johnson gets the Texans into the Saints red zone. And then Deshaun Watson cool and calm as can be. He gives it to Owen Daniels, but Owen Daniels gets fumbled this time, recovered by Roman Harper, and the Saints get it to around the 22-yard line. 2:50 in the second quarter. Drew Brees, open receivers, gives it to Eric Martin. Eric Martin from the BTFL Season 2 gets it to around the 43-yard line, and then Drew Brees, play action. A couple of open wide receivers, he finds Michael Thomas wide open, and he's got the touchdown. It is 21-0, but not before the end of the first half with less than 12 seconds left. Arian Foster's freeze, he has the touchdown. Nobody could catch him today, and he could go all the way. And that was your halftime show for the all-time great Houston Texans and the all-time great New Orleans Saints. This is PR52. Announcer for this early game for the Monday Night Football doubleheader between the all-time great Texans and all-time great Saints as we look at the Superdome. And this is from the first week of the BTFL Season 3. We start off after halftime with the Saints being the ones to kick off because they got the ball first. Morton Anderson kicks it off from the 35-yard line of New Orleans. Dominic Williams from the 9, and he makes it all the way to the 22 to gain 13. This is an uphill climb here for the Texans, but Deshaun Watson is a great quarterback, and I know that he can attempt to do it. Toss to Arian Foster, he'll gain 9 to the 31 of Houston. 2nd and 1 at the Houston 31. Watson back. He would scramble up the middle. He avoids defenders, and he makes it to the 46 of the Saints for a gain of 23. 1st and 10 at the 46. Watson back again under center. No pressure in his face. He'll throw it down the right side to Kevin Walter, and it bounces right off of his hands. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 at the 46. Deshaun Watson back. Surveys. Pass over the middle, it's incomplete. 3rd and 10, this is a big third down conversion. I know everyone says that this is a big third down, but it's definitely a big third down for the Texans. Watson scrambles, doesn't find anybody open. To the 30, to the 20, to the 10, to the 4-yard line. That was a big scamper of 32 yards for Watson, who makes it into the red zone. 1st and goal at the 4. Toss to Foster. Great blocking down the left side, and he makes it into the end zone. That is the 2nd touchdown of the game and the season for Arian Foster, which gives the New Orleans Saints less breathing room. That's an extra point kick by Chris Brown. It's up, and it is good. Chris Brown kicks off from the 35, end over end to the 15 with the awaiting arms of Deuce McAllister, who runs up for a gain of 7, and he's fighting, and he gets to the 22. 1st and 10 at the 22. Motion man. Drew Brees, play action. He'll roll out, and he would fire the ball to Marquise Colston. His first reception of the game. Before Michael Thomas, it was Marquise Colston who was the marquee receiver for the Saints. Brees in the shotgun. He fires it left, and it's incomplete. Intended for Eric Martin. 2nd and 10 at the 41 of New Orleans. In the shotgun is Brees. Direct snap to Kamara for a gain of 2 to the 43 of New Orleans. 3rd and 8. In the shotgun is Brees, and he would throw the ball before getting sacked, and he would be incomplete yet again to Eric Martin. And this drive would stall out. 4th and 8. Tommy Barnard would punt the ball end over end to Ben Tate. He's waiting in the end zone, and it's a touchback. 53 seconds in the quarter. Arian Foster, he gets the ball up the middle. He would get to the 40. He would get to the 50, get to the 42, 43-yard line of the Saints. The ball's on the ground. It's a fumble recovered by the hardest-hitting safety in the league, Darren Sharper. Saints get the ball back. Big break there for the Saints as Brees would play action. The ball's on the ground again. First turnover by the Saints, recovered by Jonathan Joseph, and he makes it to around the 10-yard line. Maybe the 11-yard line. That is the end of the third quarter. We'll go into the fourth quarter with the Saints having a 7-point lead. 1st and 10 at the 11 of New Orleans. Deshaun Watson backs up, Surveys the field. No one's open, and he makes it into the end zone. He scores! Deshaun Watson with his first touchdown of the season. This one being a rushing touchdown, showing his nimbleness. And they can tie this game as long as this extra point is good. This Chris Brown extra point is up. It's good. 4:45 left to go in the game. This is crunch time. Chris Brown kicks it off to Deuce McAllister. McAllister gets it around the 5, and he makes it to the 14 for a gain of 9. 4:25 left in this game. 1st and 10. Alvin Kamara takes the ball down the left side, and he would go down all the way to the 36-yard line. That was a gain of 22 for Kamara. 1st and 10. 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Handoff to Kamara again. He would go. The ball squirts out, and the ball's recovered by Michael Thomas. He's Johnny on the spot. A lot of fumbles in this game. Somebody buttered their fingers up before this game started. There's a lot of balls on the turf. Drew Brees hands it off to Alvin Kamara, and he gains 1 yard to the Houston 18. 2nd and 9 at the 18 of Houston. Handoff to Kamara, and he will gain nothing. He will not gain any yards. It's 3rd and 9 at the 18-yard line of Houston. Drew Brees backs up. Play actions. Surveys the field. No pressure in his face. He would throw it over the middle to Jimmy Graham. He makes it to the Houston 3. Saints will call a timeout with 2 minutes and 35 seconds left. That is their first timeout called. Brees at around the 2. Hands the ball off to Kamara. He bounces off defenders. Breaks a few tackles. He gets his 3rd touchdown of the game. Big game here for Alvin Kamara. And it could be a 7-point game if this extra point is good. Anderson's extra point is up. It's good. 7-point lead for the Saints. 2 minutes and 24 seconds. Deshaun Watson has to be clutch. Kickoff by Morton Anderson to Dominic Williams. Retrieves it at the 1, and he makes it to around the 14 or 15. 2 minutes left in this game. Deshaun Watson is back. Dave Waymer sacks him. Dave Waymer was a big player in the BTFL Season 2. Glad he's coming back for the BTFL Season 3. Pitch left to Arian Foster, and that is a loss of 1 to the 13. Another timeout called by the Texans. That's their 2nd timeout called. They have 1 remaining. Deshaun Watson back. He throws a screen pass. It's incomplete. 4th and 17 at around the 8 or 9. Deshaun Watson, he'll scramble. He'll make it all the way out to the 27-yard line. Big play by Deshaun Watson. That could have been the game. He did very well there. Deshaun Watson, he's back, scans the field. Jumping catch over the middle by Kevin Walter. And he avoids a few tackles, making it into the red zone of the Saints. That was a huge play for a gain of 55. 40 seconds left. Watson takes the ball. He's going to scramble again. And he makes it into the end zone, avoiding defenders. The Texans have a chance to tie this game with a Chris Brown extra point to attempt to send this game into overtime. Or maybe onside kick it. The kick is spotted, it's up, and the extra point is good. What a comeback for the Texans in this game. They were looking dead in the water, but due to the great scrambling of Deshaun Watson, the Texans are able to get back in this game as McAllister goes down, and that is the regulation. Overtime is here. Texans call heads, they win the toss, and they elect to receive. Morton Anderson will kick this ball off to Dominic Williams, who's fumbled once already in this game. He'll collect it in the end zone. He makes it out. Ball's fumbled at the 5. Recovered by Cameron Jordan. And he's got the walk-off touchdown for the New Orleans Saints. The Saints will win this game 34-28. What a game. What a comeback by the Texans. But it's all for naught as the Fumble-Rooski curse comes in, and we have an end to this game finally that went into overtime. Thank you all for watching this broadcast of the BTFL Season 3, the all-time great Houston Texans and the all-time great New Orleans Saints. I had a great time commentating for you all, and make sure that you stay at the end of this for the post-game show and highlights. See you guys. And now for the post-game show between the Texans and Saints, all-time teams, 21-7 to begin the second half. Deshaun Watson trying to do it with his legs. He bobs and weaves around defenders as he makes it inside of the 5-yard line of the Saints. And then at the 4-yard line, Arian Foster's freeze got himself another touchdown, celebrating in the end zone. Next drive, Arian Foster's freeze would do it again. He breaks by tacklers. He makes it past the 50-yard line, and he fumbles. This time, it is recovered by the Saints. Darren Sharper, the hardest hitting safety in the league. And then the Saints give it right back. Drew Brees fumbles, his lone mistake of the game, recovered by Jonathan Joseph. And Jonathan Joseph makes it to the 11-yard line of the Saints. Watson, he will say, you know what, guys are fumbling. I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to get me the touchdown. The game is tied at 21, just like that. The Saints have vanquished the lead as Kamara this time fumbles again, recovered by Michael Thomas, who's Johnny on the spot, gets it to the 19-yard line, and third down, 21 all. Drew Brees play actions, he rolls out, he'll throw it short to Jimmy Graham to around the 2-3 line, and then first and goal. Drew Brees, the handoff to Kamara, get off me, and he got the touchdown, up by 8 points. Deshaun Watson, less than a minute left in the game, he will throw it over the middle to Kevin Walter. And Kevin Walter makes it to the 30, makes it to the 20, to the 17-yard line. Less than a minute left for the Texans as Deshaun Watson uses his legs again. He could go all the way. He's got the touchdown. Great job by Deshaun Watson. And what does this mean? This means we're going to overtime. Usually if you get the ball first, you win. Texans win the toss. They call heads. They'll elect to return. And then we've got Anderson kicking the ball off to Dominic Williams, also called Dominic Davis. He makes it out of the end zone. He gets tackled at the 5, and the ball is recovered for a touchdown, this time by Cameron Jordan. And because of this, the Saints win in overtime, 34-28. That's one way to win it, as that caps off a great game, as that is the first of the doubleheader of Monday Night Football.